So we're going to quickly move into this next block where we're going to explore extending lifespans, the future of exponential medicine. Mar Perez, our guest speaker on this topic, joins us from San Jose, California, although she's from Spain. She is a principal for InQ Ventures and Venture Health. Investment funds focus on disruptive healthcare innovation. In her role, she wears many hats, from screening over 500 deals per year and managing due diligence to speaking engagements like this one. Mar is also a graduate from the Kaufman Fellows Program. Mar is passionate about breakthroughs that can change medicine. We are so pleased to have you here, Mar, and we look forward to hearing your thoughts on this space, so join me on stage. Thank you so much. Thanks. Hi. Is this okay? A warm round of applause for Mar, please.
Well, thank you everyone for being here. I'm gonna put this here, yeah. A special thanks for sharing with me your next 20 minutes from your life. So I'm gonna start this presentation with a really big question. So please raise your hand who wants to live forever. Okay, good. Wow, not that many people, huh? Interesting. Okay, well, it's good to have a sense from the audience. So, awesome. For those who say they want to live forever, maybe we get there. But the question is how, right? How are we going to do that? So, with this presentation, I'm going to take you into a journey into the future, and I will try to separate and share my vision, trying to separating reality from fantasy. So, for that, why don't we start looking at nature? Why do we have some species living 4 weeks and some other living 410 years? Well, some scientists think that the reason is the genes. So that's why different animals have different lifespans, because they have different genes. And we will talk about that a little bit more later. But there are different opinions about this. So some scientists think that it's not only the gene, that it might be, it might be the metabolism, or for example, the heartbeat speed. So some animals, like mouse, have a heartbeat speed of 500 beats per minute, while, for example, cats or dogs have 120 beats per minute. So some other scientists think that it might be because of fertility. So it seems like species that take longer to reach sexual maturity live longer. Like, for example, the sharks. Scientists recently found that Greenland sharks are the oldest vertebrates alive on Earth right now. This female shark is about 400 years. And it's interesting to know that it only grows 1 centimeter per year, and it reached her sexual maturity at age of 150 years. So that's interesting. Why? We still don't know why, really. And what about humans? Well, this is our lifespan history. And we all know that with basic improvements in water, sanitation, and diet, we have gone, a long way, right? But what is going to happen in the future with other improvements in science, in medical science? Where are we going to get, right? So if you think about something interesting right now, the probability of a 25 years old to die before his or her 26th birthday right now is 0.1%. So if we could keep this risk constant instead of raising due to age-related diseases, we could, statistically speaking, live 1,000 years. But the question is, how do we do that, right? So when you drive from Palo Alto, where Stanford University is, to San Francisco, where I live, you can see this commercial from a very well-known insurance company called Prudential. And they say that the first person to live 150 is already alive. So if you ask me, is that true? I think it is. I think it's possible. And if you ask this guy, Bill Maris, who, by the way, recently left Google Ventures, he thinks that not only 150, but 500 years. And that is exactly what Google is doing right now. One of the goals that Google has is finding and investing in companies that are fighting aging and that are slowing the aging process and eventually extend lifespan. And this crazy guy, and I say crazy with a very connotation, positive connotation, agrees with Bill. His name is Aubrey de Grey. He's a British researcher on aging. And he thinks that we're going to live 1,000 years, that the first person to live 1,000 years is already alive. So Aubrey thinks that aging is merely a disease, and a curable one. So we can actually cure aging, and we can live 1,000 years. And he thinks that we age in 7 basic ways. And I'm not going to read it because you can do it. So cell loss atrophy, so on. So he claims that we can fight, we can prevent these 7 basic ways to age. But the truth is, so far, we have been only able to do it with mice, and not even all of them. So from mice to humans, there is a big step. So these 2 guys have this common dream. They just hope to live long enough not to die. But how? Would you be able, I mean, would you be willing to live like that? Right? I don't think so. Better like this. Is it working? This lady, Ernestine, she's 80 years old. She's a bodybuilder. And this is actually this picture. She's 80 years old in this picture right now. You know, and she claimed that her secret for that youthful look is just diet and exercise. But we already have science saying that we're going to be able to go much farther with drugs, and that is going to happen soon. And what about technology? Is it going to help us to just look younger, or actually to be younger? To be young, you know, there's a big difference on that. So we're going to talk about these different approaches to extend lifespan. Why did I pick this? Well, I think they are the most promising ones and also the most popular one. But careful with the popular. We'll talk about them. So let's start with reality. Well, genetic engineering is a reality right now. It's already happening. And remember I told you at the beginning that some scientists think that there are aging genes. Well, what if we could change? What if we could mutate these genes? Could we slow aging? Well, that's exactly what they did. But instead of using mice, they started the studies with this little worm called C. elegans, which is about 1 millimeter of length, and it lives around 3 weeks to 1 month. So they found the aging gene called DAF2, and they mutated, and guess what they achieved? They extended the lifespan they doubled it from 1 month to 2 months. So that's pretty amazing. Again, this is not in humans, right? So still, we have a long way to go there. But if you think about how should we think, how should we imagine this scenario, the way that they describe it is not think about a very youthful 95-year-old person jogging and running marathon. It's not that. It's this situation. You are on your 30s, you are having a drink in a bar, you're a girl, and a guy comes, joins you, you start sharing a drink, share a conversation, and by the end you're asking, well, how old are you? You know, expecting to hear 35, 40. And he say, I'm 95. So you would never knew, right? If he didn't tell you, you would never expect that. What about calorie restriction? Well, that one is actually one of the most robust intervention proven to work. So we already have several species, and we know that it works. Even the most cautious scientists about this, anti-aging hype that we're living, right? Everybody talking about immortality and all of that. Even them, they think and they agree that this is actually working, and it's reducing several risks in diseases like diabetes, cancer, and heart disease. How? We still don't know. It might be because it's slowing a little the metabolism, but we don't know exactly how it works. So we already have studies proving that calorie restriction works in mice, dogs, and monkeys, but good luck convincing humans to eat much less. There's actually a researcher in Louisiana, and he said that if you start when you are 25 years old, if you start eating 15% less of calories, 15%, you might add 4.5 years to your life. Is it worth it? I don't know. It depends. And for calorie restriction, we're going to go to jamón serrano. It's not really that. Have you heard of human organs growth in pigs? Have you ever heard of that? Yes? Okay. So this is what scientists are doing in the US. Imagine if we didn't have to depend on donors organs donors to do transplants. Wouldn't be amazing? There's a company doing this. It's called Genesis. And they are using our DNA editing tool. It's called CRISPR, and I'm sure you have heard of CRISPR. So while organs farms may bring some kind of controversy, right? It sounds, well, we'll see how we're going to get there. If you ask me about CRISPR or DNA editing, I think it's going to revolutionize the future. So let's talk about fantasy. What about fantasy? I should say fantasy today, right? Because who knows? Maybe changed. But right now, when we talk about convergence with machines, some people say that it's going to happen in 2045, that we're going to become immortal in 2045. I mean, I think we still have a long way to go there. There are several reasons why I say that. But so in 2014, we were able to connect brains into tablets. But if we talk about uploading humans into machines, it's just a different kind of fish, right? And if you think about emotions and empathy, those are vital to the way our brain works, right? And we don't even know yet how our brain works. So I still see a long way going there. Even consciousness, human consciousness, some scientists don't even think that exists. They think that it might be a mix between memory delay and imagination. So I definitely think we still have a long way to go here. I'm remembering now, there was a conference about artificial intelligence in California. Excuse me. And the New York Times was asking the experts, when do you think that might happen? When do you think machines may become as powerful as humans? And the answer was surprising, because it ranged from 20 years to 1,000 years. So experts definitely don't agree on that. We'll see. What about supplements? Well, this is a huge market, right? Everything about supplements, hormones replacement, vitamins, herbs, nutrition, all of that is moving, just in the US, is moving, generating revenues of $50 billion per year. This is huge. There is no proof that this works at all in longevity. They still keep selling. So this company is one of my partners in the fund. His friends funded this company in California, and they're selling a lot. So if you check the website, they say they're selling products for memory improvement, metabolism, level of energy, all of that, even longevity. Well, what I think they're selling is hope. That's what I think they're selling. They're doing good. And what about cryogenics? Well, is this really a fantasy that is going to become a reality tomorrow, or is it just a fantasy? I mean, well, there are a lot of concerns. How are we going to get there without damaging our bodies? How are we going to freeze our bodies or our brain? It's just interesting to see how many. There are multiple companies already in this space. So in 2013, for example, in the US, there were 150 people. 150 people freezing their whole body, right, in liquid nitrogen. 80 people freezing only the brain. I guess it's cheaper. And then more than 1,000 requested to these companies to store their bodies when they die. So people are doing it, but again, there are many, many concerns about how not damage our bodies or our brain after bringing it back to life. Last one, human growth hormone. I'm doing great with the time. That's good. This one is selling a lot. Again, in the US, it's a huge sell. They have proved nothing for longevity purposes. So in 1985, synthetic human growth hormone was developed, but for a specific purpose, which was children and adults, right? So it was never approved by the FDA for longevity purposes. And even like that, people keep buying it. Also, some scientists think it might be harmful. So we should be careful, because skin and muscles looking younger doesn't mean that you are going to live longer. I think that's important. So we have walked through different approaches to extend lifespan, and some of them may be real and are promising, feel excited, but some of them I don't think are going to go anywhere, maybe, we'll see. But definitely we have many reasons to feel positive and excited when we think about longevity and extended lifespan. I think we have many improvements already. we have achieved incredible milestones in areas like biotechnology, DNA editing, and so on, so on. So if you ask me, I don't think it's going to be one magic pill or one specific new technology that is going to dramatically change our lifespan. I think it's the combination of many of them feeding on one another that is going to make us live longer in the future. And remember, today's fantasy might become tomorrow's reality. Thank you so much.